I know I didn't discriminate, and I made it very clear to the staff there at USDA that it wouldn't be tolerated during my tenure.
So why are you out?
I said it over and over again.
Why are you out?
Pardon?
Why are you out?
Why am I out? They asked me to resign. And in fact, they harassed me as I was driving back to the state office from West Point, Georgia yesterday. I had at least 3 calls telling me the White House wanted me to resign.
So the pressure came from the White House.
And the last one asked me to pull over to the side of the road and do it.
You willing to name names?
And that's exactly what I did.
Are you willing to name
Pardon?
names? Are you willing to name names?
Oh, I can tell you that was Sherrod Cook, the deputy undersecretary. She called me and said, because she called me and I said, Cheryl, I got a 3.5-hour ride to get into Athens. She called me a second time, where are you now? I said, I'm just going through Atlanta. She called me again. I said, I'm at least 45 minutes to an hour from Athens. She said, well, Shirley, they want you to pull over to the side of the road and do it, because you're going to be on Glenn Beck tonight.
Wow. So the administration pressured you out?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I don't feel good about it because I know I didn't do anything wrong, and I know during my time at USDA, I gave it all I had. I worked when I didn't feel like it. I pushed the staff to get out there in places they had not been into before. Like I said, the 9 counties I targeted, I asked them shortly after getting there, tell me what rural development has been doing in these areas. And when they did that, there were zeros in a lot of places. And I knew this was an area where we needed to target. We need to get the programs out into some of these areas that need it, just like some other areas that had gotten the funding over and over again.
So I want to be really specific here, and I apologize for, I just have to do it. So you get 1, 2, 3 calls from Ms. Cook, and at the point that you have the conversation, that it is made clear to you that you need to go. How does that conversation go? What is said to you?
The very first one, I guess there were like 4 calls, because the very first one was before I got in my car to go to Athens. She said I was being put on administrative leave. The next call, after I sat waiting and waiting, because she told me she would call me right back, the next call said that they're going to have to ask me to resign.
Did you, do you feel as though you had an opportunity to state your side of the story?
No, I didn't. The administration didn't. They were not interested in hearing the truth. No one wanted to hear the truth.
The NAACP released a statement late last night saying, in part, we are appalled by her actions. That is an opportunity to explain what happened 24 years ago. Do you feel as though you got that opportunity, even in a phone call with the NAACP?
Didn't. The NAACP has not tried to contact me one time, and they are the reason why this happened. They got into a fight with the Tea Party, and all of this came out as a result of that.
Your reaction to...
I would have appreciated, when you look at my history of civil rights, I would have appreciated having the NAACP at least contact me, and Roland Martin too, contact me to try to get the truth about what happened.
The reaction to, your reaction to essentially being condemned by the NAACP.
That hurts, because if you look at my history, that's what I'm saying. I've done more to advance the causes of civil rights in this area than some of them who are sitting in those positions now with the NAACP. They need to learn something about me. They need to know about my work. They need to know what I've contributed through the years.
What was the point of the story you were telling to the NAACP in March? What was the point?
The point was to get them to understand we need to look beyond race, to look at working together. I've said to audiences here, not just that one, and in fact, I spoke at a housing conference in a county just south of here, and I said, look, we need to get beyond the Civil War. I tell them there are good things about history from the white side, good things about history and culture from the black side. People love to come into this part of the state to see that. I said, I tell them we need to make the most of it, and if we work together, we can do that.
Do you believe, as a principle, do you believe black people in power can make or have the ability, can make race-based discriminatory decisions?
I'm sure that can happen. I can tell you I didn't do it.
Okay, that was my follow-up.
And you could go to any of the communities that I worked with, and if the staff were free to tell you, you could talk to any of the people I've worked with since I've been at USDA, and they can tell you what my record is.